week we're tiling our Jack and Jill bathroom shower. The caveat is we've never tiled a shower before and we have no time for a learning curve because our goal is to be in our house in just a few weeks by the time we get married. Otherwise, we're gonna be newlyweds trapped in my parents' basement. Let's rewind real quick and give you a little recap of where we're at. Over the last 2 years, we got engaged, moved out of our 80 square foot camper van, and bought a 3-acre lot. Now we're building our own 2,800 square foot ranch home. Right now, the house has been completely framed and the elevation details are partially complete. In our last video, we shared all of our interior selections, so now we are moving on to tiling. Since we're closing in on our wedding move-in date, we gotta move quick on this tile.
You know, compared to the stone, I think this is gonna be much more doable. But, famous last words.
Knock on wood, Faris.
So we'll be splitting this process up into 4 steps.
Step number 1, hanging the cement board and waterproofing.
And step number 2 is a shower pan test.
Step number 3 is a shower pan tile.
And step number 4 is the shower wall tile.
And we'll save the grouting for the next video. So before we start, we need to purchase all the materials and bring in all the tools. Let's bring in the tools we will be using. For the shower prep portion, we will be hanging cement board up, and then we will be using a Vevor Shower Kit as an extra layer of waterproofing protection. Lastly, we will use thinset to adhere the tile. So we've gone ahead and cut our tile all from Floor & Decor. On the floor and half the shower wall, we'll be using this Himalayan quartz porcelain tile. On the other half, we'll be using these smaller marble tiles. And then for the floor, we have a matching mosaic to the marble. So Jerry is here to help us with step number 1, hanging the cement board and waterproofing.
Cement board is similar to drywall, but it's moisture and water resistant. Keyword resistant, not waterproof. Make sure you know that because there's other steps that we need to do to help make it waterproof, and you're not just putting your tile on top of the cement board. We'll be using cement board screws to attach the cement board to the studs behind them.
Basically, you just hold up the cement board and screw it into the studs. We mark lines on the cement board to indicate where the studs are as we continue to get higher up this wall. Draw your lines.
Yeah. That's for sissies.
The cement board comes in 60-inch sheets, which fits our back wall perfectly. We will have to cut the sidewalls to fit. We'll be using a grinder to cut out the parts for the shower nozzle and the shower heads into the tile.
You didn't get even close, huh? What are you doing wrong?
Better to cut smaller than bigger, just in case it doesn't fit the first time, Jerry.
When I raise my armpits, you can really smell it.
I can't hear, see, or smell, so you're lucky.
What's with you lacking on the deodorant, man? You need to get that checked. We added screws on the face going down the stud to make sure it lays flat and is secure.
Now that we have all the cement board up, it's time to get to waterproofing.
First step is to mix the thinset. We'll be using the thinset to adhere the waterproofing sheeting to the cement board.
The waterproof sheeting is just a waterproof membrane. It's polyethylene. It doesn't allow water to get in or out. So we adhere that on top of the sheeting that is the cement board that's just water resistant. So now we'll have a surface that is totally waterproof.
Drier than snot.
That snot's pretty wet.
Okay, that's our first lesson. We'll
Go at it one section at a time.
or trowel quicker.
We quickly learned that you need to move quick with the thinset or it will dry fast. We also noticed that wrapping the polyethylene took up more time because we had to spend more time pressing in the corners and making sure it was tight. So wrapping the sheeting gave us a little more trouble than we expected, so we're gonna try a different method now.
All right, we were jerry rigging it. We were trying to make sure we were wrapping it around, which is good. It's a good technique. If you can use it if you want to. When we had more people, it's a little bit easier to do, but you don't have to do that. You can cut individual pieces for each wall, and then there's going to be seam pieces as well that are about like this thick that will go down the seam and lock that in.
We're gonna do this. So we're gonna do so we got wrinkles. I'll give a little bit. Be careful with the puncture it. That's it right there.
Now that the walls are complete, it's time to move to the shower pan and the shower curb.
There's a few different brands that provide these shower kits. We're using the brand Vevor. We are not sponsored by them, but this is the brand that we're going with. And in this kit, it provides a shower pan and a shower curb. They come a standard size, but since our shower is not a standard size, we will have to cut these down to make them fit properly.
Curb came in at 6 inches high, which is pretty excessive. Get away with just a couple inches. It's just a matter of keeping the water inside the shower pan. Now we need to clean everything up underneath. We're going to mix up our thinset. We're going to set our shower pan, our shower curb. We're going to put our banding edge material in the corners to waterproof that.
Nice job, my man. Good job. So this waterproofing took a little longer than we expected. I feel like that's the anthem of our videos, the theme.
So now what we're going to do, we're going to put a test plug in the drain. Because of the odd size of this drain, we couldn't find an inflatable test plug at our local big box stores. So we found a lacrosse ball that seems to fit real good. It's a little bit pliable. Looks like it may make a watertight seal. We cut the plumber's pipe off in order to make installation of this a little bit easier. His pipe was a little bit off center, so we'll reattach his PVC pipe to our drain fitting, and we're going to fill this pan with water, and then we're going to go observe in the basement to see if there's any leakage.
We probably should have put a bucket in the basement.
Yeah, if we could reach that much, we're in trouble. Okay, what we can also observe when we pour water, since water finds its own level, whether we're hitting all four corners, that indicates that we have good slope. It looks like it's even around the edges, so it's pretty good. I don't know if you'll see
Hear
that.
bubbles.
You see that corner there on the left? Well, let me go in the basement. Okay, we're dripping a little bit on the ball, which is fine. Lisa, you can see there's no water anywhere here.
There's one drop.
Well, that's the ball. I see the ball is wet,
Okay.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else.
The bubbling just seems like it's coming from, you can see it where it's coming from the pan.
What we need to do then is observe what happens here.
If my tool cut through the thing, I'll put more on.
Let it settle or something?
See water? That all looks good. And nothing around the drain, not underneath the drain, but no wood is wet around that black drain, is it?
No.
I think we're good.
We realized the polyethylene membrane was a fuzzy material that trapped air on top of the membrane in between its fuzzy strands. And that's what caused it to bubble when we initially poured the water, but the bubbling had settled by the time we came back 2 days later.
Woo! I was a little bit nervous. I thought all of our work was gonna go down the drain.
Oh my God. In the end, if it was leaking, we would drain the water and then we would just add another sheet of the waterproofing material to make sure that no more water would seep through.
This is going to take you into no man's land now, so doing shower pans, because this is pre-sloped, as long as we don't have a lot of built-up thinset that's going to be in the way, getting around here may be the most difficult. And if you have troubles, just cut that section out, clean it up, and when I get back, we'll finish it up.
First thing we need to do is drain the shower pan and mix the thinset.
Starting with the back corner. So we want to make sure this looks the best. We will have to get all those joints out though.
Really? Oh God, that stinks.
All right, we laid out the tile on the back corner in an L shape. So like that's where, when you walk in, you can see that the best. So we wanted to make sure we didn't make any cuts there, but now we're laying them out and it's not a perfect fit, so we have to make some cuts. For these, I think just the grinder is the best tool that we have at least. And we need to make a cut at 11 1/4 to fit in on this side. It's close enough. Biggest mistake so far, the thinset, heavy on the thin. I did not, we put too much water in it, and when I pushed the tile, the mosaic tile onto it, it seeped everywhere and it ran everywhere. If it was a little bit thicker, that wouldn't have happened. It would have kept it a lot cleaner, easier to manage, easier to clean up, because it is so intricate. The tiles are so small and intricate that it's gonna be very difficult to clean up.
So while Faris laid the remaining floor tile, I cleaned up the thinset behind him and did my best to get it out of the joints. But now on to the trickiest part, the drain. How's that going?
think I'm smarter if I do it this way.
Didn't work?
I messed up.
What happened?
I didn't measure it correctly.
Oh. Nice job.
Getting there.
Right, we got
We were a little messy, I think. I don't think everyone would be as dirty as we would. By the end, I didn't get as much on it.
Yeah, over here, it's looking a lot cleaner than over there.
This is not a good look here. The way it's setting, heavy slants on the last 4 tiles. It'll work. This is sticking up an 1/8 inch above this tile.
We failed.
The idea is not to have to redo the house too many times.
It's never a failure.
It's always a learning experience. Just don't get a PhD in learning from your mistakes.
No, that's some true life advice right there.
Philosophy.
Okay, we'll deal with that a little later. Let's move on to the shower walls, but first we have to pick our layout. So before you begin setting your tile, you have to choose your tile pattern first. There's all different kinds of tile patterns like stacked horizontal, stacked vertical, offset, brick joint, all different kinds to choose from. But first you need to understand the width of your walls. So here we have 43 inches on our side walls and then 60 inches on our back wall. Our tile is about 30 inches wide, so we need to pick a pattern that will allow for us to set the tile without having too much scrap and make sure it looks right. So after looking at all the different patterns, we believe the best pattern for us is an offset every third. So offset every third just means the joint or the grout line for the next tile lines up every 10 inches because that's 1/3 of our 30-inch tile. So here you can see we have our starting point, and then every 10 inches, this is where you start the next line of tiles. Now let's pick the pattern for the tiles that are going on top. This is a stacked horizontal, then we have brick joint, and then stacked vertical. I think I'm leaning towards brick joint for this one.
You know what, Lise?
What?
I kind of like the mix of marble and the porcelain tile.
Doing the mix of porcelain and marble tile allows you to save on some cash because the porcelain is about $250 per square foot and the marble is about $650 per square foot. So doing porcelain on half the shower allows you to save on some cash.
Let's get the level laser and get these tiles up.
Let's do it.
For cutting the tile, we have 3 different options. We have Jerry's old tile saw.
Old.
We have a scorer, a tile scorer. And then for intricate cuts and small cuts, we have the grinder.
Yep.
Grind on me. Oh baby, look down on me. Then we'll use the thinset on the wall and to back butter the tile. And once the tile is up, we'll use spacers and levelers to make sure they fit perfectly, the right space, and they're level on the same plane as the other tile before that, so we don't have any ridges.
This is where you get lippage. Feel this. This is not good here. I should have put one down low. Come on, Lisa. I think I know what the hell I'm doing right now. No freaking clue.
That is the question. Should we hire out in
In the comments. It's 8 p.m.
You son of a bitch, you work. Wow.
Yell at it.
That actually works.
We ran into another problem. We let the tile sit for a very long time because we did not finish the project all in one day, and we didn't put the proper spacers in, so we then had to rip the tile off the wall.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. Maybe we'll reverse that later on.
That's our motto. In turn, also ripped off the waterproofing membrane, the polyethylene sheet.
We'll repair job. Never hurt nobody. Except for us.
So we had to patch that up and put another tile on.
At least it was at the bottom. We didn't get very far anyway.
Mamma mia!
Okay, it wasn't all bad. We got the hang of it after the little patch. I cut the tiles while Faris puts them up.
I got 99 problems, but this membrane ain't one. I got 99 problems, but this tile ain't one. I got 99 problems, but the thinset ain't one.
thinset was one. Now that we have 4 rows of tile going up the back wall, it's time to move to the side walls.
Originally, we were gonna stop the tile at the edge of the shower, but then I thought about when boys are peeing and the mess that we make. And I was like, you know what? Let's bring the tile all the way behind the toilet and it'll be on the floor. So if there's any drippage, spillage, splashage, it will be a little bit easier to clean up than if it were on the drywall.
Things were flowing until you switched things up on me. Faris, where's the marble?
Okay, as you can see, we did not put the marble on. The marble was supposed to start like above this line right here, but that would have taken a long time. They're very intricate, hard to do. These are a lot easier for me to do. And once we started doing them, I was like, it will look good. It will still look fine.
So you're gonna have a lot of decisions to make when you're building your own house, and changes happen on the fly, and that's basically what's happened here.
Time decreased, the design might have maybe like taken a hit.
Yeah.
But overall, we also had more cost savings because the marble tile costs more as well. So for me, it was a win. We were getting behind.
But we're not getting rid of the marble completely because we love this gray tile and the marble tile so much. We're actually going to move that into our master bedroom or our master bathroom. So this way it'll differentiate between the master and the Jack and Jill.
We have some intricate cuts. Safety first, goggles. We gotta bring out the saw.
Here's what happened. What is that?
It jumped and then, I don't know, I shouldn't even be using this thing. It's a hazard.
It's Jerry's first saw.
Back to the grinding board, legitimately. I gotta grind this thing because I just gotta clean it up a little bit.
Moment of truth, please.
All right. A little messy, but it'll work.
You got it, you got it.
Time to put on Schluter. Essentially, Schluter covers the edges of the tile. It's metal. It can be other materials, I think, as well, but we're using metal. It will go underneath the tile just a little bit. You put some thinset on it, and then it covers the tile perfectly. And then when you put the grout in, it looks really nice, gives it a nice finish instead of seeing the edges of the cut tile.
Yep. It's time to really move it because we are falling behind. And again, we are way too slow. We need to pick it up.
Losing money here. When you think doing the work yourself will save you time, money,
Oh, I never thought it was
we're the opposite. We're definitely not saving time, but really it's like this cost opportunity of us doing other things by doing these projects. We could be making some money up doing something else.
It's a learning opportunity.
Selling foot picks.
Let's finish this wall and get that shower curb on.
We just put the shower curb on, and the main thing to think about this is just it needs to be angled down this way so that water hits it and runs off into the shower pan instead of going just sitting there or the opposite way.
She's looking good, Faris. Officially done tiling all the walls.
In this video, we didn't quite get there and we're holding up the plumbing inspections. We need to get a toilet in before it gets too cold because you don't want to keep using the porta potty outside.
No.
So we're gonna have to bring in some help because we still have our master bathroom and we have our powder room bathroom. We're gonna be doing the mudroom floors and the floors to each bathroom in the Jack and Jill.
Yep.
And we have to get the grout in. So we're gonna have to bring in some help in the next video. That's what you're gonna be seeing.
So don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Not 2, 4.
Not 2, 4. Not 2, 3.